On February 24, 2022, Vladimir Putin sent Russian troops to invade Ukraine, revealing a hidden agenda. The renowned Russian Spetsnaz force, known for their precise operations, had already infiltrated Kyiv before the invasion, disguising themselves as regular people. Their objective was to gather vital information and strike at the opportune moment. 400 of mercenaries from the notorious Wagner Group also arrived in the city. Known for their loyalty to the highest bidder and brutal tactics, they added to the already escalated battleground. During the invasion of Ukraine, more Spetsnaz soldiers arrived in different parts of capital by parachutes, turning the streets into intense battlefield. The gunfights escalated, inching closer to the heavily fortified presidential palace. The Ukrainian forces successfully repelled the attack and saved the presidential palace. Furthermore, the very next month they pushed back Russian forces from the capital Kyiv. It is essential to acknowledge that if Ukraine's elite forces had hesitated and the Russian assassins had succeeded, the outcome could have been significantly severer. Since those intense days, both countries' elite forces have continued to play vital roles in the ongoing conflict, showcasing their skills and strategies on various battlefronts. The comparison of their capabilities remains a subject of interest and ongoing discussion. How Ukraine's Special Operations Forces and Russian Spetsnaz formed, and what makes them different from each other on the ongoing battlegrounds so far. If you are new on my channel, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video in your circle. Let's dive deeper into history to find the birthplace of these both elite forces. The both Ukrainian and Russian special units have their origins in the Soviet Union, a shared history that dates back to the days of Spetsnaz. Originally, Spetsnaz referred to the Covert Operation Division of the Soviet Union's military intelligence and security services. When the Soviet Union disbanded in 1991, the term Spetsnaz primarily became associated with Russia's special forces. But other post-Soviet states also inherited their own special forces from the former Soviet security agencies. Similar to tanks, fighter jets, and other military equipment, Russian and Ukrainian elite forces have often utilized similar weapons, such as AK-74 rifles and Glock sidearm. However, the Ukrainian military has seen an increase in the adoption of Western weaponry over the past 2 years, while Russia has restructured its arsenal from the Soviet era. As a result, their equipment has wandered. Differences in operational approaches have also emerged between Ukrainian and Russian special forces during the ongoing conflict. Ukraine's elite units, designed after Western special forces like Britain's SAS, are limited in number but highly trained. In contrast, many of Russia's units categorized as special forces are defined more by their advanced equipment and war tactics. The battlefront had witnessed the achievements of Ukrainian and Russian special forces. Each side has their own tactics, strategies, and notable accomplishments on the battlefield. So what are the achievements of Ukraine's special forces and Russian special forces on the battleground? The role of Ukraine's Special Operations Forces and Alpha Group. Since Russian forces crossed into Ukrainian territory, we have gained some insights into the activities of Ukrainian special operations. Ukraine has several military units dedicated to special operations, specifically focused on land warfare. These units include the 3rd Special Purpose Regiment, the 8th Special Purpose Regiment, and the prestigious 140th Special Operations Forces Center. Among these all units, the 140th unit holds a special status as the most elite. In 2019, it earned certification as a Special Operations Unit capable of participating in NATO Response Force, a remarkable achievement for a non-NATO member state. Additionally, the Security Service of Ukraine, the country's primary intelligence and security agency, boosts its own special forces unit known as the Alpha Group. This unit played a crucial role in defending Kyiv during the conflict. Notably, the Alpha Group has been actively involved in critical moments of the war. They were responsible for ambushing a Chechen convoy engaging in combat from the early days of the conflict. Ukrainian authorities claim to have destroyed 56 tanks in the convoy and inflicted heavy casualties on the Chechen fighters during the intense Battle of Hostomel. These courageous Ukrainian Special Operations Forces have shown their resilience and effectiveness on the battlefield, making significant contributions to the ongoing conflict. The elite Ukrainian Special Forces unit not only executed the ambush but also played a pivotal role in thwarting a massive 40 miles convoy heading towards Kyiv. As the world anxiously watched, satellite images revealed the alarming sight of hundreds, perhaps even thousands of Russian armored vehicles advancing towards the capital, raising fears of an imminent siege and the fall of the Ukraine's capital city. Some of these audacious assaults have reached far beyond the front lines, penetrating deep into Russian seized territories and even Russia itself. This has fueled speculations about the active participation of Ukrainian Special Forces. One notable example was the colossal explosion in October 2022, which tore through the Kerch Bridge, a monumental structure linking Russia to the annexed Crimea. The attack dealt a humiliating blow to Putin, as the despised bridge has been one of his pet projects, with the Russian leader even personally inaugurating it in 2018. Moreover, the bridge served a crucial supply route for Russian forces in southern Ukraine. The role of Russian Spetsnaz in war. Ukraine's special forces have been silently wreaking havoc behind enemy lines and disrupting Russia's early attempts to capture Kyiv. On the other hand, Russia's Spetsnaz forces have taken a different approach, which appears to be less effective and subtle based on the available information. Leaked American documents from last month revealed that Russia's top commanders ordered their elite forces to engage in direct combat during the initial stage of the war. They seem to lack confidence in their conventional fighters' ability to handle the situation independently. Consequently, the Spetsnaz unit has suffered significant losses. Comparing satellite images of a Russian base in November 2021 and a year later reveals a striking contrast. The earlier image depicts a bustling base with numerous vehicles, while the latter image shows a considerably emptier base, indicating a state of severe depletion. The 22nd Separate Spetsnaz Brigade, along with two other units, has reportedly experienced an attrition rate of 90 to 95%. The leaked documents also suggest that it may take Russia up to a decade to replenish the ranks of these elite units, considering that it takes 4 years to train a Spetsnaz soldier. Military experts have showed concerns at the tactic employed by Russian commanders. By deploying special units to the front lines, they have rapidly depleted these forces at an alarming rate. This was also highlighted by Rob Lee, a Russian military expert. It is crucial to understand that Spetsnaz is not a singular elite force, but a diverse collection of units within a complex network of competing elite special forces, reflecting the Kremlin's strategy to avoid reliance on a single force. Wagner Group, the Russia's private military company. Since the invasion began, one prominent group that has emerged from secrecy is the infamous Wagner Private Military Company. Initially recognized as a covert Moscow unit engaged in questionable activities for President Putin in Syria and Africa, they have now gained widespread attention as a well-known militia. In addition to their previous role as an off-the-books special forces unit carrying out secretive missions for Putin worldwide, Wagner has been deployed to support regular Russian forces facing heavy casualties in Ukraine. Their involvement in Ukraine traces back to 2014 when they operated alongside Moscow's own units during the annexation of Crimea. Subsequently, they were sent to the Donbas region where the conflict between the Ukrainian government and pro-Russian faction was raging. There, Wagner played a crucial role in destabilizing local governments and taking control of towns, employing tactics such as stealth attacks, intelligence gathering, and accompanying VIP staffs typically associated with special forces operations. In January 2022, just a month before Putin ordered the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the Times reported that 400 Wagner mercenaries were flown from the Central African Republic with the mission to assassinate President Zelensky. Their plan involved seizing control of the Ukrainian government in Kyiv and paving the way for a puppet regime installed by Russia. According to the Times, President Zelensky miraculously survived 3 assassination attempts, 2 of which were orchestrated by Wagner Group. What's next for special forces in Ukraine? There are a lot of indications that Ukrainian special forces are once again leading the charge, with recent reports suggesting that these highly skilled units have already crossed the Dnieper River searching for a weak spot in Russian defense. If Ukraine employs the same tactics as in their remarkable counteroffensive last year, we can anticipate stories of daring actions by Ukrainian commando units behind enemy lines. On the other hand, Russia is facing the possibility of relying more and more on poorly trained reservists in its military forces. If they continue to place their best units on the front lines, the number of casualties is likely to rise even further. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and of course don't forget to subscribe so you never miss it when we upload a new video. You can drop your recommendations and comment of what you want to see us make in the next video. On that note, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.